Between periods of our telecast tonight on Philly 57, the Flyers and the Los Angeles Kings here from the Forum in Inglewood, California. Milepost comes along during the course of the season about every 10 games, we figure, so we're down to the last 10. Seemed like a good time to have Paul Holmgren here. 20 points remain. How many possible out of the 20 do you think you need to fulfill that goal of getting a playoff berth?
Well, about halfway through the season, Doc, we sat down. We thought 85 points would be the magic number. I think now maybe 81, 82 points would secure us in a spot. And we have 10 tough games left, and it's going to be a grind for us.
Well, speaking of those 10 games, now you've got a couple with Pittsburgh, a couple with Washington, teams that are battling for playoff berths too. Is that good, or would you rather not play those teams and be playing outside the division?
Well, I think if you look at our 10 games, they're all tough games. They're all either on the road against a pretty good team or tough games within the division. We have the Bruins at home. I think it's a good stretch for us. If we're going to make the playoffs, we're playing some pretty good competition. We're going to have to beat some pretty good hockey games. So it's a good hockey team. So it's good preparation for us going into the playoffs.
Flyer goaltending has been a solid spot during the course of this year. Last 3 games, it may have faltered some. Now we get to the final 10. Do you have a game plan on how you'd like to use your goalies?
Well, I pretty much talked to Hexie. I talked to Hexie the other day and pretty much told him that we would go with him for the most part down the stretch, unless, heaven forbid, he's terrible. Hopefully he can withstand it. I think we have to have one guy that's hot right now, and we're going to look to see if he can be the guy.
Now, in terms of the overall team play during the course of the season, this has been a team that has had difficulty scoring, has been solid defensively. Have you seen any change in that over the course of the year, or do you feel that those are the strengths and weaknesses headed down the stretch?
Well, I think our strengths are our goaltending and our team defense. I think we've had a great season in terms of how we played defensively. We've had a tough time scoring, but as far as the way we play, I don't think we can play any other way. We have to work hard to generate chances to score, and sometimes they're going to go in, sometimes they're not. But I'm certainly happy with where we're at in the goals against column. I'd like to have more goals for, but we'll just keep plugging away.
Coach sort of has to be a father confessor. He has to be a strategist. He has to be a number of things. Which role do you think is the most critical for you down this final 10 games to have your team ready to play each time?
Probably the motivator and the consoler. I think we're at a time where everybody needs to be playing their best, and you have to try to get inside each individual's head and find out what's going to make him play his best. There's not a whole lot of X's and O's involved to the way we play. We don't really change from game to game with the exception of a few little details. I just think that we have to, as a coaching staff, we have to find out what's the best way to get Pelle Eklund to play his best, what's the best way to get Rick Tocchet to play his best, and if we can do that, I think we got a good shot.
Thanks very much for joining us, Paul.
My pleasure.
Paul Holmgren, coach of the Flyers, our guest here between periods. Our intermission activities will continue with Steve Coates after this.